there's a way. Yes, there is a way to be both critical of a Cowboys move and fair in analyzing a Cowboy move. This is a subtle one in many ways, but it's still a headline grabber when I say the name Schottenheimer. Mike Fisher reporting from the Star in Frisco, where this morning Sports Illustrated was the first report that the Cowboys are hiring Brian Schottenheimer, the son, of course, of the late, great NFL icon Marty Schottenheimer. There's a lot of branches on this tree. Let's walk through them. First of all, is Brian Schottenheimer being added as an extra coach to the coaching staff? No, he's not. He is replacing the departed after 1 year Ben McAdoo, who came here, resuscitated his career, and is now, after 1 year, going on to become the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. What was McAdoo's role here? We joked around that he was in charge of getting Mike McCarthy's dry cleaning, but he was not officially on the coaching staff in a standard way. He was a special assistant, special advisor, special projects. Some could argue that he was glorified quality control in some ways. And again, this is a guy who's been an offensive coordinator and a head coach in the NFL. So surely Ben McAdoo, even though because of his Giants reputation, we all hooted about it, obviously Ben McAdoo has some credentials and brought something to the table. He helped last year. So this idea that, oh, the Cowboys are stockpiling more assistants and what do they do? No, one guy left, and now in comes Brian Schottenheimer, who has been in the NFL as a coach for almost 25 years. He's in his, I think he's 48 years old. His greatest credential, I don't think this is an insult. His greatest credential is that he is Marty's son. Had he not been Marty's son, the chances of him being an NFL coach would have been greatly diminished. That's fair. Again, we're all one chromosome or one molecule away from being a completely different person with a completely different complexion, with a completely different height, a completely different sex. It's fair to say if your last name's Schottenheimer and your first job in the NFL came from your dad, that you might have not gotten that same shot, no pun intended, had your dad not hired you. Brian Schottenheimer has had a perfectly fine career. Offensive coordinator for years in Seattle, offensive coordinator before that. Last year, passing game coordinator under Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. That didn't work so well, and of course they cleaned house there post-Urban Meyer. So he catches on with the Cowboys. Is this a problem? No, but it's worth noting that if you're interested in how to get a job in the NFL, and I've said this many times, this isn't just a Cowboy thing. I say this about the Sean McVay deal. Sean McVay was a position coach in the NFL with the Washington franchise when he was like 24. How does that happen? Well, because he was friends with Mike Shanahan's son. That's how it happened. And Mike Shanahan recognized the brilliance in Sean McVay, just like Marty Schottenheimer may have recognized the brilliance in his own son Brian, just like Mike McCarthy may recognize brilliance in Brian Schottenheimer as well. But the who you know business, which is a nice way of saying it, the borderline nepotism, which is a more harsh way of saying it, these are realities. Maybe they're realities in the corporate world too, but they're certainly realities in the NFL world. If you look at a map of Pennsylvania, where Mike McCarthy grew up, where Ben McAdoo grew up, and where the Schottenheimer family is rooted, you could walk between the three of them. They're 30 miles apart. They're all Pittsburgh, basically. Again, is this a negative that Mike McCarthy hires a Pittsburgh guy? Is it cronyism? Is it semi-nepotism? Is it favoritism? It's who you know. I hope Brian Schottenheimer comes into this building and gives great assistance to the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, gives assistance to the defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. He was a quarterback, of course, in college, so help the quarterbacks, help the wide receivers, do it all. But there is no denying, and not even Mike McCarthy can deny, that in a who-you-know business, if you want to be hired to Mike McCarthy's staff, it damn sure helps if, number one, you are the son of a guy that Mike McCarthy talks about all the time as a mentor. He will bring up Marty Schottenheimer about once a week during the season in our press conference meetings. He just idolizes the man. And of course, Mike McCarthy's first NFL job was with the Chiefs, working under Marty Schottenheimer. And now full circle. Now Brian Schottenheimer needs a job. He gets a job with a disciple of his father, who grew up within about 30 miles of where his father grew up. Same as Ben McAdoo grew up within 30 miles of the two of them. If you want to get a job on Mike McCarthy's staff, it helps to be from Pittsburgh. That's all I'm saying. Fish out.